Yeah, I guess talk about the poetry that is in our liturgy.
Sure. I mean, this was one of the great things that our founders in the Ordinariate were so concerned to preserve, was the poetic language of the liturgy of the Book of Common Prayer that was good and mostly Orthodox, and they wanted to be able to bring what they could with them into full communion with the Catholic Church, because they viewed it as a real concrete sacramental good that needed to be preserved, where many of our translations of the Latin liturgy have been lackluster. They tend to be. It's no indictment of I think of the translators in particular. It's an indictment of the time period, that this was being done in a time of an intense disenchantment of the world, during the Cold War, when everything seemed bleak and prosaic and technological. And many of the translators were caught up in that spirit. They thought things were always what they seemed. And Isaiah chapter 6 is to me the principal case in saying, oh, no, they're not. In fact, more often than not, they're not at all what they seem on the surface. And nowhere is that more the case than in the sacraments. The sacraments are not what they seem on the surface. They're much more than what they seem on the surface. And they symbolize what they are, but there's so much more. And it's only by preserving that poetic language, that very beautiful verse that we have in the Anglican use, as well as many of the other ancient church traditions, that we reflect that truth in our language. If we make the language prosaic, then there's a sort of rupture, a sort of disjunction between the language we're using and the thing we're actually doing.